Hello everyone and welcome to episode 14 of Enigmatica 2 Expert. How are you doing? So what's the plan for today? The plan for today is that we're going to start beating the pack until we see a crack. Oh, that rhymed. Anyway, the idea is that I'm far away from the end game and that's making me very uncomfortable. So we have to get into extended crafting and singularities and neutronium and everything. So let's get started. So as usual, let's start with an update. I have upgraded our ore miners to tier 4, so now we are getting ionite crystals, and one of the goals for today is to get the tier 5 solar controller. And this is the recipe. It looks very bad, but it's actually not that bad. I think this would be the most difficult thing to craft, not the solar controller. Also, do you guys remember that 2 or 3 episodes ago we managed to automate the production of calcium sulfate in this area? So we used XNet and XNet decided to fail on me. He was like, oh, do you remember this hydrogen here which you told me to extract and dump it inside the trash? I'm not gonna do that for no apparent reason. So I changed XNet to Ender.io conduits and everything is working perfectly. Luckily all the gases from nuclear craft are considered liquids, so you can use a fluid conduit. I also added 2 tanks, one for hydrofluoric acid, which I thought it looks cool. These are dynamic tanks from Mechanism. And also I added one for deuterium, but unfortunately it's invisible, so that was not a very smart move. Here I'm also automating the production of hexagonal boron nitrate, which we are going to need in order to make the cubic boron nitrate, which is used in combination crafting, which is our extreme crafting. We only have one recipe for it and it was not worth it because it was a complicated process. So we're going to need boron, melted boron, which is supplied through an ender chest from our applied energistic system. Then we are going to need hydrogen, and then we are going to mix them in order to get the boron. And then we are going to need hydrogen and nitrogen in order to make ammonia. So hydrogen we're getting from the electrolyzer and nitrogen we are getting from this nitrogen collector, which gets it from the air. It's like the cobblestone generator. And then we are also going to need boric acid, which requires the boron as well as water to make boric acid. And then we are going to mix that boric acid with ammonia in order to get boron nitrate solution. And that goes inside a pressurizer. No, it goes inside the crystallizer and we get this. Unfortunately, that's not the last thing that we're going to need from nuclear craft. We need something else, and that's the most complicated part. We are going to need californium in order to make the californium RTG, which is used in ultimate crafting in order to make the creative power cell. So we are going to need to run a reactor and process, I think, 7 tiers of fuel. I'm not sure. So I decided to make a nuclear reactor room, and I was supposed to have steam turbines here to make it look nice, but then I decided I don't have time, so let's finish this thing first. Anyway, the idea is that we're going to have a giant reactor here, and then we will process different tiers of fuel around here using applied energistic system and hopefully reach californium. If we manage to process 2 tiers in each episode, I think we should be fine. I'm not sure, but that's something that we have to do. Also, when I was making this, I decided that, so where does the uranium come from? So I decided to make an excavator from immersive engineering, which does not work, obviously. I made conveyor belts, they go inside the tunnel and they get processed or whatever. We have a storage of uranium blocks, which are very safe because nobody gets sick if you stand next to uranium. I thought this could be our power system for the excavator. They don't work, it's just for decoration. Then I decided to make a coal mine, the crusher from immersive engineering to make this place, I don't know, look like a mine or something. But in any case, after all of this, I decided that, okay, so I made all of these things and let's make it functional as well. I have 2 coke ovens here, so you put the coal blocks inside this cache, they go inside the coke ovens, we get the oil in order to make treated wood inside this crafter, and that's basically it. So if we want to get into extended crafting or ultimate crafting or whatever it is called, we should start with the crafting tables. I already have 1 basic crafting table because I made the reactor controller, but we are going to need more because in order to make the higher tier ones, you're going to need the tier 1 again or the previous tiers. So I think we should make, I don't know, maybe 3 stacks? And then we're going to upgrade 2 stacks of them to advanced crafting tables. And for the elite crafting table, we are going to need a lot of stuff. I gathered all of my material and we can make 6 elite crafting tables. Now that we have access to extended crafting, there are a bunch of things that I want to do. But first things first, I want to upgrade our ore miners to tier 5. It does not need extended crafting and I have all the ingredients. But I also want to make these solar controllers tier 5 and see how much RF they generate. There is nothing complicated here except a lot of items that I have to prepare. So let me get some stuff and I will bring you back. We are also going to need a lot of nether stars, so I have already ordered some. This could take some time. A tier 5 ore miner needs 1.2 million RF per tick. What? Why? Solar controller tier 4? We have a small problem. So in order to make the tier 5 solar controller, we are going to need 2 of these high voltage solar arrays. This is the recipe. So I need 4 of these tier 3s, which is 16,000 of these solar panels. And I'm out of plastic. And plastic takes time, so maybe we should get rubber from somewhere? What? Oh, rubber wood gives you this. Oh, that's nice. So this has been my life for the past half an hour and we're still missing 500, so yeah. So finally we have everything that we are going to need. It needs 38,000 cobblestone and 1 sulfur. Uh-oh. And finally, tier 5 solar controller. And wait, it gets much better because we're gonna have 2. If these things make anything less than 2 million RF each, it was a waste of time. Well, it wasn't a waste of time because each of them makes 2.4 million RF, so both of them make 4.8 million. Right now, with our reactors running and those solar panels, we are generating, well, not that bad, 10.5 million RF. That's good. I thought we might as well make the tier 6 one because we have everything we're going to need and this one will provide us with draconium. And since I'm not using our digital miners, we don't have draconium left. So FYI, this guy uses almost 1 million RF. Oh boy, that's going to be bad. Well, we have a huge overflow of ores and we're not processing them fast enough. At first I thought it's because of my very neat cabling. I thought the extraction rates are not good enough, but then I checked the devices and if I can get in, yeah, we're not keeping up, so I don't know what to do. Probably what I will do is that I'm going to dismantle the ore processing here and put it inside a compact machine or something, but for now I want to make singularities. So we're going to need to make a quantum compressor. Let's do that. Do you know what's the best part of this mod pack, which makes it incredibly irritating? You cannot make the factories from Mechanism. You have to do them manually, one by one. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So this guy apparently requires a crystalline catalyst? What? Why would you do that? Why? If this thing is a catalyst, it should go here. This option should be disabled, and these are expensive. And I'm guessing it also needs power. So if we put redstone in, how much does it take? 10,000? Really? Without EMC? You're joking, right? Because... Okay. Let me think a little bit then. The reason that I was very worried is because that I know that in order to make the Infinity Armor, the Sword of the Cosmos and the World Breaker, you're going to need 99 Infinity Ingots. In order to make one Infinity Ingot, you're going to need 11 Infinity Catalysts, which makes it almost 1100 Infinity Catalysts to make the 99. And for one Infinity Catalyst, you're going to need all the singularities. So it would require millions of resources without EMC. And I thought, okay, we're screwed. And then I remembered, we have the creative vending upgrade. It's not an easy thing to craft because it requires all of this stuff, and as well as creative generator, creative power cell, creative fluid tank, and creative gas tank. So it's not an easy thing to get, but if we manage to make this one day, we can create everything that we want. We just have to put this inside a drawer and have limitless of everything that we're going to need. So we only need 2 Infinity Ingots for this, and maybe a few more for other stuff. So we don't need millions of resources, we just need 2 to 300,000 of each. It's not that bad, but it's also not that good. When is this thing going to be ready? It's over 10,000. Yes, our first singularity. That is super. Alright guys, we need to talk. It's been a day later and I did some stuff. So, this is how fast we are generating ores. And this is how fast we are processing them. Which is good. So, what did I do? I moved our ore miners from here to here. So I have 2 tier 5 ore miners, 1 tier 6 ore miner because I need this one to run because it's the only one which gives me draconium, and 1 tier 5 resource miner. But then I realized there is a problem. I was looking at the induction matrix and realized we are consuming 14 million RF, and if we add all the ore miners together, it should not be more than 5-6 million, and we should be able to cover it easily. So I was checking these guys and I right clicked and I realized, okay, you're 1.2 million RF, it's not that bad. But then I right clicked on this one, it says 9.6 million RF for the tier 6 ore miner. This is power hungry and I had to come up with a solution. So my first idea was that I'm going to tweak our mechanism reactor and make it generate much more RF, because somebody told me that if I use the DT fuel directly inside here, this will generate much more RF, and that is very true. So when I inserted the DT fuel inside, it went up to 25 million RF per tick, which was amazing. But unfortunately, the production of heavy water is not enough. I can't keep up. So the reactor would shut down after 10 minutes or so, and it was not a good solution. So I made 2 more solar panels and I thought, okay, that should be the end of the story and we should be fine. No, because the total of them would make 8.8 million RF, which was nowhere near enough. So what I did is that I switched the solar cells from tier 5 to tier 6, which you can do on a tier 5 base. So the base is still tier 5, the controller is still tier 5, but the solar cells are tier 6. So these guys now make 3.2 million RF each, which is not that bad, but we are barely keeping up because right now we are consuming 14 million RF and we are not generating UU matter because the tank is full, nothing is functioning in the main base, and we might need more power. So I was thinking about fusion reactor from nuclear craft. And the reason that I have the fusion reactor from nuclear craft in mind is that if we provide it with hydrogen, which is very easy to make, we will get deuterium. And then we can put the deuterium inside another reactor and get something very amazing. So if I come here, you will see that it will give us neutron fluid. And I was like, okay, so what should we do with it? There is something. If we get it titanium iridium alloy, it will give us neutronium ingots. So yeah, that's what we're going to do. Oh, and one more point, this is our new ore tripling system. I went slightly overboard, but it's functioning and it's keeping up. So I'm very happy with this. And also in another news, I found my pickaxe. So this is the spare one that I made. This is the original one. I found it at the mechanism reactor site. Probably I sneezed and, you know, I pressed Q. Luckily the Terra Shatter does not despawn because it's meant to be left inside the mana pool so that it gets full of mana. So that was a lucky find. I thought what we should do is to start by generating the fuel, because auto-crafting the fusion reactor itself is going to take some time. So I'm guessing if we give you power, you should work, right? Yeah, it's getting water and it should give us hydrogen. Yes, good. An electrolyzer will make hydrogen, oxygen, as well as a little bit of deuterium. So what I'm going to do is that I'm voiding the oxygen, I'm keeping deuterium as well as the hydrogen. They go into different tanks and hopefully it will not be confusing because they're almost the same color. And then I thought, well, we should also keep some of that hydrogen because we might need it later on. So we have a dynamic tank and this should be more than enough. The extra deuterium, we just put it inside this tank because I don't know where to put it. So, how do we want to do this? You are big. Okay. Okay. So from the mod author spotlight video, I realized that this thing is going to need a lot of cabling, a lot of redstone, and yeah. So I don't mind it being underground so that I can hide some of the stuff. I don't know, is this going to be size 5 or... I have no idea. So let me just finish it because this is my first reactor and I have no idea how it works. I ran out of blocks. These electromagnets are expensive. There's a creeper in the base. The ring is finally complete and I'm using glass for the top ones because I thought it might be cool to see the plasma inside or something. I have no idea. So let's charge this thing up. Apparently we have to charge all 4 rings. So I need one down here, I guess, which is charging it up. That is good. Actually, I think if we want to hide this thing, it's better to put one here and another one maybe on this corner. That should be fine, I guess. Because I'm going to cover this thing up anyway. This is very laggy. So this guy is a pain. First of all, this quantum entangloporter which I put on this corner, and sorry for the lag, was useless. I had to put it here because I needed to touch this one and this one. This is touching these two, so it's fine, and I'm guessing I need another one for this bit, so we put it here. And I need another one for down there, so... You know guys, I just put the replicator to work and make me a few dragon hearts, and I forgot about that. So we have 277 of them. So this guy is now receiving hydrogen from this tank, and these things are charged. We also have to give this guy power because apparently it needs to build up heat. So let me do this as well, and it has to reach 8000 Kelvin or something. I'm not sure. Let's see. Oh, it's already there. Okay. So I just need a lever then. So we put a lever, we turn it on. Are you doing... Oh, it's making deuterium. That is amazing, and it's not generating any RF because it needs to go higher. The temperature has to go higher. So... You know, I'm actually just mumbling because I have no idea how this thing works. Okay. It's going up, it's going down. Why are you going down? So I don't understand this completely because I flicked the lever again and now the temperature is going up. And we are generating RF. No, we are? 9 RF per tick, that's awesome. Well, at least the plasma looks kind of cool. And very laggy. I have no idea if my understanding was correct or not, but this thing just needs an initial redstone signal and then it will continue working. You can turn it off. And the reason that the temperature was declining again was that because these tanks were full and I just put void output overflow and now it's working fine. So we are generating RF, this thing is going up, so we just have to get the deuterium out and try to cool it down a little bit. So let me see what I can do. So I made some coolants, and if we put an infinite water source and put some of them here, this should cool it down a little bit as well. I have no idea how the mechanism behind it works, but the mod author said we should cool it down by 5000 Kelvin or something. Are you being cooled? How would I know? Oh, here it says 240 Kelvin. Okay. And now the active cooling rate is 38%. Apparently if you put them on opposite sides of each other, they will have a better effect. So should I add some here or should I put them here? I don't know. I need more water sources. Alright guys, I managed to add more coolers and now we are cooling this thing by 5119 Kelvin. I have no idea if it's a bad thing that I went over 5000 Kelvin, but if I remove one it will go to 4700 and if I add one it will go over 5000, so I don't know. I'm tired of solving puzzles. Anyway. We were also losing hydrogen, and the reason for that is that I realized that these item conduits, these fluid conduits from Ender.io are not sucking hydrogen fast enough. So I switched them with superlaminar fluid ducts from thermal expansion with resonant servos, and now we are gaining hydrogen, which is a good thing, I guess. Anyway, the most important part is that now we are also getting deuterium at a very fast rate. So I can make another fusion reactor, maybe here, and that will be amazing. Hopefully that will generate much more RF and hopefully we can also make neutronium with it. Let's see how it goes. I had to turn this thing off for a few minutes because I wanted to switch the glass with normal electromagnets because this thing was super laggy, and if we don't see the plasma, I guess it's fine. I'm not picky, I'm fine with it. The last thing that I want to do before finishing this episode is to try and automate the production of grains of infinity using a fire starter from Cyclic. So I believe you need power. I'm not sure if you need flint. Oh, we'll just wait a little bit. So if I put you to always on. Oh, you don't need flint. That's nice. So can I increase the range or... okay, so I need more than one. You cannot just do it with one. Okay, fine. So that was actually very easy. I always thought that they need flint for some reason. Well, they're easy to set up, so we get grains of infinity, they go inside a vacuum chest and we just have to extract it inside an ender chest and then we're good to go. That's nice. Thank you. Alright guys, I think it's also time to wrap up the episode before it gets super long and before this thing explodes. This is my first fusion reactor and I have no idea what bad things can happen to it. Anyway, the whole point of making this was to get deuterium so that we can make another fusion reactor so that maybe that one will generate much more RF and help us with neutronium ingots. Anyway, thank you so much for watching and I hope you enjoyed it. Till the next one, bye bye.